Three and two and one. And hello out there, listeners of Indie Music Radio. This is Life as We Know It. I'm Freeze. I'm going to have to tell you that up front because you probably don't know who I am. And I've got with me a couple of the best guys that you'll ever know, ever have the pleasure of meeting. Everyone say hello to Andrew Grass and Philip Mifflin. Andrew, Phil, how are you doing this morning?
Awesome.
Fine, thank you.
That's awesome. 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 We've also got Tommy hiding in the back. He's engineering the show for us, making sure that our sound gets out to the site. And say hello, Tommy. All right. All right. So we are all loaded up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Life as We Know It. This is the show that everybody's talking about. And I'm not being conceited when I say that. I mean, literally, this is the stuff we talk about day in, day out with each other. The only difference is we're on the internet. So let's get right down to it. We're going to have lots of good stuff today. Andrew's going to be bringing us a sports report like none other. Phil is going to be in charge of bracketing our Crazy Eight. And I'll explain what that is in a little bit. Crazy Eight is a nice little fun thing that we're going to be doing. And then, of course, there's always, pop news, culture, stuff like that. And before we get off into all that, I just wanted to kind of give you an introduction as to who we all are and how we came to be here. We'll go ahead and we'll start with Andrew. Andrew, tell me the story.
Well, I actually started with radio about 2 years ago. I first started off, my intro to it was I applied for the KMOX Sports Correspondence Spring Training Report contest, got into the final 10 out of like 1,000 plus people. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but a buddy of mine who worked at another radio station said, "Hey, man, if I could pay you, I would love for you to do some of my voiceover." And I said, "Hey, you don't have to pay me. I just want to keep any demos that I do and basically add it to my demo reel." And so I did that. And he said, "Hey, why don't you come in on a show?" So I came in on a show.
Nice.
Another co-host from a sister station that was in the same building came in and did the show, liked what he heard, and said, "Hey, why don't you come on my show too?" So I started doing, 3 or 4 shows a week. Eventually,
Nice.
I ended up doing my own show called the Average Joe Sports Show, and which eventually
Yes.
to another show became the Average Joe Show because it wasn't all sports all the time. Because that's what I am. I am just an average Joe, and I just like chatting about sports and all sorts of wonderful, cool stuff in Hollywood and everything else there. And after a while, I was invited to come on this other show called Social X, which is where I met Freeze.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
And so, while we were doing our thing on that show, I said, "Hey, Freeze, my buddy and I, because I had a co-host named Milo, and he said, 'Hey, we'd love to have you come in and, guest on the show once.' And so all it took was one episode, and we said, 'Dude, we want you to become a permanent co-host.' And that is when that's how Freeze and I met, and that's how Freeze got on the show with me, and the show ran for a few more months before management changed, and now
Yes.
here I am on an even better situation because that other radio station is snake bit, man.
Yes.
That's just the truth.
Yes. It's and I don't want to say anything bad.
Oh,
I
I
had
did.
fun.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah. And I mean, I had lots of fun. And it was just great. And the cool thing about it is while I was getting started with you there, I had a lot of supporters. I had a lot of people that were raising up and saying, "Hey, Freeze, this is like awesome. Like this is, how did you do this?" And then I'm like, I met some good people, and good people were able to get me into key positions I needed to be to get the experience I needed, and here I am. And speaking of those supporters, my main one right there, and I knew that if I was going to do any other project ever, and it was, I was going to have any control over it whatsoever, I was bringing this dude on board. Say good morning and hello to my best friend, Philip Mifflin.
Thank you. Those were nice words.
Thank you.
Let's see, the story of me and Freeze, it goes back 22 years to high school. It was an instant friendship that turned into an instant bromance.
Oh, wow. I am not
Whoa.
getting him It's not
We have been side by side ever since, except the short stint that I moved to Texas. But hey, you were always in my thoughts.
And then there was your short stint in the Marine Corps.
Short stint, very, very short stint, but yeah. But we've gone back. You were the best man at my wedding,
Mhm.
also the DJ at the time. Don't tell me how he did it.
Because I'm just that good.
And when he brought this idea of a project to me, of course I had to jump on. There's no way I was saying no, and that's why I'm here today.
Well, I am glad to have you. I am glad. Like I said, I knew that when I first talked to Tommy. True story. I work at this computer shop here in town. Um, and one day Tommy just, he comes in and for real, I knew something good was going to happen. Like I knew something good was going to happen, but I was totally pointed in the wrong direction. What I thought was just that I was going to bonus that day because he walks in and he's like, "How much for 5 V's?" It's like it's like a $250 computer, and I'm like, I'm about to sell 5 of them. Yeah, like I thought I was getting numbers up. Well, we end up talking, and I'm asking him, I'm like, what's up with all these computers? What's going on? He's like, well, I do radio, and I'm like, really? I used to do radio, and so we get to talking, and the next thing you know, we're talking about hammering out a show, and I'm just thrilled about it because like I said, I had gotten my radio start pretty much like when Andrew met me. Like Andrew actually met me on my first day of broadcasting. He was on Social X. Social X is a 5 day a week show. Average Joe aired on Sundays, 8 to 10. So when I go back the next day on Social X, like I've had my first day and it's killer and I think I've done okay and all that, and I come back the second day and the interest's gone. And it's just me and the other two co-hosts, and I kind of cried a little because I'm like, oh, like I felt a little lost because he was the one that really communicated with me, that first day. Everybody else is kind of, they're doing their thing and
Doing their own thing.
and they've been used to doing their own thing for a while, and then here I come like the fifth wheel on the car. You don't really need that with the drive. And but Andrew, like he just latched right to me, and from there I was very very motivated. So when he came to me and was like, hey, that's we'd like to have you on Average Joe, and I'm like, okay. And I really consider Average Joe the point at which my radio career took off, and so just having a lot of fun, learning the business, whatnot. I knew that I wanted Andrew's experience on this project. I knew I wanted Philip's enthusiasm on this project. So, like, we put it all together. Here we are. I'll be honest, I was nervous, like right up to that.
Yeah, I think I threw up a little bit before the show, but I'm all good now.
That's why we have a trash can next to you, buddy.
Got you hooked up. Okay. And it's cool because we're broadcasting from here. We're broadcasting right from my place. So I like this. We go to Tommy, and then Tommy goes out and sends us out en masse. So happy to be here, Tommy. Want to thank you for the opportunity to do so. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So now that we've introduced ourselves and what sort of effery we plan on bringing to the station, um, maybe we take this moment and kind of explain some of the things that we're going to be doing here on the show. Andrew?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, basically, we're going to cover a different subject every week. We're also going to have a sports report every week, which I'll be pretty much in charge of since I'm the main sports guy.
Right.
And we'll also have on a weekly basis, we will have our Crazy Eight section, our Crazy Eight section. Geez, I'm not even using the right words. It's been a while. It's been a while. So this week's Crazy Eight is we're basically going to do the Crazy Eight is essentially a bracket style segment, and so every week we're going to the first week of every month we're going to introduce an 8 subject bracket. This month's subject happens to be the most disturbing news articles of 2015.
And there were a lot of them.
I came up with 7 within about a 7-minute span of time.
Oh,
just on memory. I didn't even have to look them
up. So just on what I remember hearing, I found 7.
Yes.
Oh, the most disturbing. Well, you know what? Let's just get right into it because 2015 has been over for 10 days now. We're 2 weeks into the new year. First off, it doesn't even feel like a new year to me.
No.
I don't know if I'm just like the only one on that or whatnot. It doesn't feel like 2016.
Well, you know what? The good news is that we're going from 15 to 16 because all you have to do is just put a little line on the back of that 5 that you keep writing out, and it turns it into a 6. Right?
You know what? I'm going to remember that for all the checks I plan on screwing up this month.
Wait, you still write checks?
Just sometimes.
What are you,
sometimes.
80 years old? Nobody writes checks anymore.
Keep in mind, I don't have any money. So I'm just writing the checks for practice. It's like little playtime, you know. It's like when I have tea with the Queen of England. I sit down here with my little cups and yeah. All right. So one of the most disturbing news stories, and keep in mind, these are some of these I don't know if they made like big news, if they were just local news, so on and so forth. But nonetheless, I'm going to jump right into it. How do you feel about horses?
They're pretty and they produce a lot of smelly crap.
Okay, see that.
You talk about living, breathing horses or horsepower? I mean,
no, horses, living, breathing horses,
like Clydesdales.
The equine.
Well, a little tidbit. Philip means lover of horses, so
okay.
you know.
Okay, well, apparently somebody out there hates horses. Okay, because from 2012 up to 2015, and 2015 is, I guess, when it hit us. But a series of bizarre horse murders have been occurring in the English countryside. January, a 2-year-old stallion was found dead with his eyes, teeth, and genitals mutilated.
Oh, dude.
Hey.
Dude, that's totally sick, man.
Hey, we said most disturbing news stories, okay? I'm coming out the gate swing, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
Phil's looking at me going, whoa.
I gotta write this one down.
I mean, I think I've already lost, man. Winner! It's good! It's good! It's to the uprights!
Thank you, see. When it comes to finding the most disturbing-ish ever,
wow.
King!
Wow!
Yes. Let's see. Genitals mutilated months later in May. A pregnant mare was also found mutilated after being attacked with a blunt object. She died after giving birth to a stillborn foal.
Oh.
Finally, a few days after that, a third horse was found, beheaded on a beach, marked with a cross topped with a gull's head.
Okay, yeah, that definitely belongs on there.
Okay, so, okay, horse murders.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so, you know, I don't know how I can top that one.
Well, I mean, we're going to try. I mean, that's...
Okay, but yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I was going to go with, let's see, I've got the November 13th terrorist Paris attack, you know, something that everybody knows about.
Okay, well, you know, I'm just saying that that's pretty disturbing, and we can consider adding that to the bracket.
Okay.
But I think the guy that cut up the horse junk definitely should be in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that cut up the horse junk should be in there. So let's go ahead and stick him in there. Phil, what do you got?
Oh, that's what it was. It was the Paris attack.
Okay, damn. And by the way, we don't really mean to crack up laughing after we hear Paris attack.
Right,
you know,
right.
This is all nervous laughter.
Right. It's very nervous laughter because we're still coming off the heels of horse genital mutilation. Like, that's just rough. Like, no matter where you go, you can't bring that subject up and just have people like ease into it smoothly.
Yeah, if you can ease into it, if you can ease into that smoothly, you're probably a psychopath.
Right. Well, first of all, if you can mutilate horse genitalia, you are a psychopath. And from what I hear about horse genitalia, it's gonna like take a while. So like you've really got to focus and be committed.
And how did you hear about this?
It's on the interwebs.
Oh, it's on the interwebs?
It's on the interwebs.
That's the deep interwebs.
I think they call it the dark net. At least that's what they say on the TV shows. Them some crazy people out there, man.
Said I went to the deep web to get some of this crap.
Yeah, the deep end of the crazy pool.
Right. Okay.
What you got, Phil?
No.
Paris attacks. What you got?
Okay. All right.
Andrew.
All right, so I had a couple different ones written down here. I think this one for me is the most disturbing.
Okay.
So I'm sure all of you have heard by now that Charlie Sheen has come out as being HIV positive.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and now I don't know if you're all aware of this, but he actually was diagnosed as being HIV positive 4 years ago, and he's been paying off people to keep his secret under wraps. Now, keep in mind, this man is known for having ample amounts of sex.
Okay, wait. First off,
yes,
already the math doesn't track. I mean, he's paying all these people